I'm hoping everyone can hear me. Oh, Daz has joined. I think everyone can hear me on TikTok, but not YouTube. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. Okay, that's sorted. Right, we're going to be going from London City to Madrid in the FSS E jets. One of my favourite aircraft currently. Let's hope we don't get a WASM crash halfway through, like we did the other day. So without further ado, we'll go back to the flight deck. Daz, I can hear anything? Sounds delayed. Strange I can hear myself. Okay, that might be why. Welcome, Harry. We are just trying to sort out our sound issues. Just there was a massive echo. Hopefully it's been resolved now, so we can crack on. Right, comms should all be sorted now. So runway 9 for departure at City today. So it looks like our current weather at City is 0806 knots, 11 degrees QNH 1001, so it shouldn't be too bad on the climb out. Our arrival looks windy. Into Madrid, it's runway 32 right, 290, 11 knots, and it's variable between 250 and 320. 21 degrees, so it should be it's nice and warm. It's a lot warmer than England currently today. looks like Navigraph definitely has something wrong. So we should be on the Banev 5 Delta arrival, but the FMC wants it as 4 Delta, but we'll work with it. It's still still usable. Still got our vertical profile there, so we're quite happy. Almost got that dangerously wrong.
hello, a very good afternoon to you all. My name's Cameron, and on behalf of the entire crew, a very warm welcome on board this British Airways flight. To help us depart as soon as possible, please place your larger hand baggage securely into the overhead lockers. Smaller bags, including those tagged with a yellow label, must be placed under the seat in front of you. If you're sitting in a front row seat or an emergency exit row, the floor area around your seat must be completely clear for takeoff. Once your hand baggage is safely stowed, please make yourself comfortable and keep the aisle clear for all remaining customers to join us on board. As a reminder, smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, vaping and other smoking devices is not permitted at any time whilst on board. This includes the toilets, which are fitted
Karen, welcome back.
detectors. Once again, thank you and a very warm welcome on board this British Airways flight.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome on board. Hello. May I see your boarding pass? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Welcome everyone, for the new people who have joined YouTube. So we're flying today the FSS E-Jets. It's the E190 for City Flyer. So it's British Airways route down to Madrid. It's one of my favourite aircrafts at the moment. Really, really good. Hopefully we don't get any WASM crashes, as they are renowned for it. And we had one in our short hop from Manchester to Belfast the other day. So fingers crossed we're all good. So our off-block time was in 2 minutes. Just need to make sure we get the rest of the passengers on board sat down and we can comfortably make a move. It's a short taxi out to runway 09. So and this thing is renowned for being a quick turnaround aircraft, so it's absolutely fabulous. Hopefully we can get some good views out of London. Oh, excellent, we are comfortably boarded. Everyone's safely in their seats. That's always a rookie move. Could have swore that APU was on. Okay, City is uncontrolled currently on that sim, so we are quite happy we can just get the engines running and then make a move to runway 09. GTR, thank you for staying with us, and Joseph, welcome. Wait for engine 2 to stabilise. London City Traffic Flyer 3270, taxiing to runway 09 on Valentine.
No takeoff, left. No takeoff, left.
Cabin crew, doors to automatic and cross-check. We will now demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. Your attention is essential, as these may differ from any aircraft you've flown before. Please study the safety card in your seat area, as this includes important safety information specific to this aircraft type, such as brace position and the location and operation of the doors. In the event of an emergency, low-level lighting will guide you to an exit. All exits are clearly marked and are being pointed out to you now. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit, bearing in mind this may be behind you. Opening the doors automatically inflate the evacuation slides. High-heeled shoes must be taken off as they may tear the slide. Please ensure that your seatbelt is fastened. It must be worn whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and it is fastened and adjusted like this, and opened like this. For your comfort and safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible at all times during the flight. If the cabin air supply fails, like this will appear automatically.
One of my favourite aircraft, so high in fidelity,
Stay in your seat and holding on to your
such an excellent aircraft to fly as well. It may have its issues, but I always keep coming back.
The bag may not inflate. You may need to pull on a coloured string.
London City Traffic Flyer 3270, lining up
to
runway
make sure
09.
your own mask is fitted before helping anyone else. Your life jacket is underneath or beside your seat. If required, remove the jacket from its container and pull it over your head. Fasten the tapes around your waist and tie them securely in a double bow at the side. To inflate, pull the red toggle as shown. The air can be topped up by using this mouthpiece. There is a whistle and a light for attracting attention. Do not inflate your life jackets until you are out
Take a line
of
of
the
that tree.
aircraft. Any personal devices with flight safe mode should have this feature enabled now. Handheld devices must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger devices, including laptops, must be switched off and stowed in your luggage for takeoff and landing. Take care your device does not get lost within your seat. If it does, please don't move it and let one of your cabin crew know. Devices must be switched off and disconnected from any seat power sockets when not being used in flight. Please ensure your hand baggage does not block the aisles or exits. It must be put under the seat in front of you or in an open.
London City Traffic Flyer 3270, taking off runway 09. I'm not entirely sure about PS5, as someone has asked. Obviously this is on PC. great view out of London. See, I've tried the sim on the Xbox Series X, and I think it definitely relies on internet connection. Don't get me wrong, with it on PC, it's obviously going to rely on your VRAM and your regular RAM of your computer as to whether it can hold it. But they are, you have got configurable settings in terms of the sim. U2X, have you got it on the PS5? So we're held fairly low coming out of City just because of the incoming traffic for Heathrow and Gatwick. So we're on the Soccer approach, so we're heading directly to Soccer now. So once we get to Soccer, we are able to climb higher on the so we must be at 3,000 with a maximum of 250 knots at Soccer. Following that point, there's no other altitude constraints, so as we head down to Lid, we can climb up to our desired top of climb, which is 33,000 feet today. You too, that's a really good a bit of information, so thank you for that. Certainly when people ask me in the future of how it works on the PS5, personally on my Xbox Series X, when I used it before, it never really worked. The planes looked really chunky, it was quite, frame rate I found fairly low. The only decent time I've had with this sim is on the gaming laptop I had before the desktop. And then, and obviously now this computer outputs some really good graphics. I never ever get tired of the fly out of City. GTR Junkie, thank you for the like. Really happy you stayed with us. So now we've reached Soccer, we're happy to climb above so we can move our QH over to standard. And it looks like we unfortunately don't have any centre ATC coming out of the city. We may be lucky and get Madrid in a few hours' time. Wow, GTR, so you've just started on your BC and are currently trying to get your licenses done on career mode. Now, I can't say I've actually been on career mode since I own 2020 or 24. I mainly fly exclusively on VATSIM for virtual airlines through VAMSIS. So at the moment we're flying for Virtual British Airways, which is one of the airlines that are part of the VAMSIS network. So Joseph, GTR, have you flown on VATSIM or for any other virtual airlines? No, not at all. So GTR, we effectively, when we fly on VATSIM, are on free flight. And we use vPilot, which is the portal which connects us all together. So if you want to track us on VATSIM radar, then you can do. So VATSIM, you literally have to, I believe, pass an exam now. I mean, it's been a long time since we joined VATSIM. We were back on the Flight Sim X days. But currently there are 2,015 connections, so where there is 1,815 pilots with 163 active air traffic controllers. So it's a very, very busy network all the way through. You don't have to do the career mode at all. You can pretty much, as long as you have an account with VATSIM, you're ready to go straight away. It's a really, really good community, especially there's the Discord that is very, very active indeed. That is one fantastic view. No, so you don't have to apologise, GTR. It's called VATSIM, VATSIM. It's a really, really good, I mean, it's a massive, massive community that basically enables you to utilise free flight and connect to an entire world of air traffic controllers. Really, really enhances the immersion of the game. Take a look, you won't regret it. Great to hear, Junkie, that you just registered. We'll certainly have to look to fly sometime. So one thing, as I said before, that I exclusively do is I fly for virtual airlines. So virtual airlines, one Once obviously you're comfortable with flying certain aircraft, you can fly according to real world procedures and real world routes, and it's so for example what we're flying today is British Airways virtual. Really good community on Discord, and through VAMSIS they have something called a Pegasus tracker. So British Airways virtual for us is VBAW, and it allows to track all of your flight from start to finish, and will score you, and so you can get certainly marked down for certain areas that you don't fly correctly if you don't have a stabilised approach, and it also tracks your landing rates. So these scores can be tracked. You can hour build and achieve certain ranks all the way through. So it's really nice to be able to track your progress. And also we use something called Elevatex. So Elevatex is another flight tracker which I can show you on the maps now. So Elevatex, I've just put on the map for our TikTok users. I will add it to our YouTube viewers. So Elevatex is another tracking software for our flights that enables us to completely track our routes. So as you can see, we've passed Lyd already into our climb out of the United Kingdom, and we should be passing Hastings to our right fairly shortly. So as we move down the English Channel, we're going to move down through the west coast of France, all the way down until we get into the heart of Madrid. So this will also provide us some really useful and interesting information in terms of our departure time, when we're likely to arrive, and it also accompanies weather information as well at the same time. So notwithstanding, we also use something called Navigraph. Navigraph is now after so many years of flying in the sim, it's almost a must. It's a very useful tool for us to be able to flight track and utilise the software. So we close the Elevatex map and then open Navigraph. You can both see that was our initial climb out with our relevant charts for the soccer departure. And then as we move further through the flight plan, you can see passing Hastings to our right as we still continue with our climb up to Wafu, and then as we move further down you can see. So Navigraph is absolutely fabulous. As we look towards descent planning and arrival into Madrid, we know that as we approach that descent and that path, we can move on. So for example, Banev here, we know that we need to be above flight level 150. And all the way through as we come down, we've got particular constraints as we move into our arrival. Now this is especially useful when there is no air traffic control at your destination airport. You can utilise that entirely to be able to plan your descent, monitor other aircraft, because we can utilise whether there's live traffic or ATC, we'll be able to see what other aircraft are around us from multiple different maps, so that we don't necessarily have to keep flicking between VATSIM radar, our Elevatex maps and Navigraph. You can utilise them all at the same time. GTR Junkie, that's really good to hear. I'm always try and be as helpful as I possibly can. Any questions that you do have about the sim, or about any plugins or some additional support that you can get from utilising this, then please don't be afraid to send in a question. I'm more than happy to answer. terms of what plugins to have, I think the first starting point, Navigraph is a no-brainer for me. It is one of the most important things. I use it on a daily basis, so Navigraph obviously is Navigraph and SimBrief will work hand in hand. So Navigraph is obviously the chart software that I have open on every single flight to be able to monitor, track and utilise the charts. So I can fly real world procedures by studying and monitoring the charts, especially in high descent. Navigraph is a SimBrief is a flight planning software that you basically utilise to prepare, plan your flights, give you real world routes, and then it will give you an operational flight plan for you to study prior to you be able to take off. I think then moving other add-ons for the game to especially increase immersion, GSX, so Ground Services X Pro is what we utilise to board, deboard, push back, absolutely everything. Give us taxi instructions. It's buggy and it's not without its issues, but there is nothing else for the sim currently. We've used GSX for a very long time. And I'm trying to think what other bits and pieces. Elevatex is free, so that's a free software that you can use. We are running Rex Atmos. So Rex Atmos is what assists us in making the clouds, atmosphere and weather and environment look as realistic as possible. And then secondly, in terms of our weather, we use Active Sky. So Active Sky is what we use to increase the realism of our weather. So that is a real-time weather injector. So that studies the METARs all the way throughout your route and on a global scale, and will inject the entire correct weather into your simulator, so that you know when you're reading the real-world METARs that the METARs are spot on to what the weather is going to be. So when you are planning real-world flights and descending into your locations and the generalised IFR flight route that you're doing, it's so much easier to know the information that you're receiving and what's being employed into the sim is spot on. So one of the other add-ons that we have for the aircraft is Chaseplane. So Chaseplane has recently been made available for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and this is what enables us to be able to move around the cabin quite effortlessly and gives us the custom keybinds for our particular views. That's how we can transition around the aircraft quite easily. And then last but not least is a relatively new one that's come to the market, and it's called GFX rather, and this is what this little M is here. So it's made by a company called TriSim. Although our current aircraft that we're in, it's not a compatible aircraft at this stage, so they are looking to increase the lineup of what's available. But this gives the effects with wing blast, wing fade in terms of the air going past the wings, and then you've also got a custom contrails that are part of the aircraft. If you look on our TikTok, you can see we've got a lot of videos where GFX is in good use. One of my favourite arrivals was into Lagos with the Iberia aircraft, one of my favourites. That's when you can really see GFX in full swing. will be interesting to hear so the people on the chat. What is your favourite aircraft? I really can't get enough of the FSS E-jets. They certainly have a very special place in my heart. They might be buggy and they might be still in developmental phase, but I still absolutely love them. Another one of my personal favourites. I mean, we can all say we love the Phoenix and the BMDG 737, the 777. I mean, these are staple. They are staple in terms of what I fly on a regular basis. But I think my two top aircraft that I'll always come back to is the Flight Sim Studios E-Jet series. So we're in the 190 today, but they've got the 195, the 170, 175 and the Freighter. They work excellently, but I think what tops that even more, what I enjoy flying, is the TFDI MD-11. Absolutely fantastic tri-jet. We chose that fairly recently over the Unibuild's TriStar. GTR, I would say that as a bare minimum for RAM, you're looking at 16 gig of RAM to run the sim. We run 64, and that quite comfortably holds us in the sim. But I do agree, there are so many aircraft that sometimes it's really hard to choose. So that's it, we've got our notification that we are 1,000 feet away from our top of climb. So reached it slightly late according to our vertical profile, but that's quite okay. That sometimes can be down to weather or wind. That we can start the drink service now on board. So we've crossed the channel, so we're just to the slight of right of Rouen. And probably in about 10-15 minutes we'll be just passing over Paris to our left hand side. GTR, what graphics card are you running for your sim? Bro is flying in space. We are currently at 33,000 feet. So as you look on the outside of the Embraer 190, still very much in use by British Airways, the flyer program. It is a very, very high fidelity aircraft, looks absolutely stunning, one of my favourites. I predominantly fly the 190 for KLM and British Airways for our virtual airlines. They truly are a stunning aircraft. That's what we can do whilst we're in the air, although we've only been going for a short while. We can utilise this time to initially prepare for the descent planning. No problem, GTR, thank you very much for joining us. you're always welcome back. As I said, if you've got any questions, don't be afraid to DM us. So as we look to plan our descent, we're just going to centre our waypoints and zoom in just so we can have a nice look. So as we progress down the west coast of France, we'll identify where our top of descent is. Now if we look on our mapping through Navigraph, we can see that our top of descent is just shy of Banev. So Banev is over the Pyrenees and into Spain. So we should be approximately around about 90 nautical miles from touchdown at that stage, which gives us a nice vertical profile descent into Madrid. For the new joiners of the channel, welcome. So looking at our flight plan as to when we are going to hit our top of descent. Oh, Tesco, yes. This is the experimental version, so we only use the experimental version in the E-Jets, and that is more because we wanted DV-nav capability and not have to use the FPA mode the whole time. I mean, yes, there is unfortunately no support that comes with the experimentals, but they do have the most recent features. It's good to have you with us, Tiesco. Thank you for joining. Those experimental version engines won't go above 25%. That is interesting. I'm trying to think. You're starting up. Are you starting with your APU on? I mean, that sounds like a silly question. So when you're down here through the power plant, do you go obviously straight from stop to run and then start again? Just wondering if it's to do with like a cold start thing. I wonder if there's anything within our settings. Not that I can see. Like your throttle's not on idle, so where is your throttle placement down here? So we have the Ursa 32 or Ursa minor throttle from Windwing, or Wind Control as they're now called, and we had to sit on I think it's called single stroke double shaft as our template for the throttle. It might be something to do that if you got, because we used to have the Thrustmaster before, something set within the calibration here. Must be. I'll zoom into the calibration just in case you guys want to take a picture of it for future. It's not the most user friendly to move these up and down, but this is our current settings and that may help. Tiesco, it's good to have you. If you need any further guidance or if you've got any questions, I might be able to look into the Thrustmaster issue. Just drop us a message if you need a hand. Thank you very much for the follow. answer from Damso. Can you go to Senegal? We haven't flown there. So have you got any, what's the word, recommendations, airport, scenery? Where would you like us to fly and what aircraft? Right, well now onto pilots doing the hard work. It's the perfect time to relax, so we certainly can ask or answer a lot more questions if you have them. Even if you're not watching live and you're going to view back at a later stage. Really interested to know if anyone's got any flights planned this year, if anyone's going anywhere nice for their holidays. Dabso, thank you for the follow. We recently put out a video about our favourite 5 airports. I mean, there is so many that I couldn't really make an entire list of them. We definitely put our favourite 5 up there. First on the list was Innybuild's Manchester. I mean, I appreciate it is jittery at times and is a frame chaser. It's very, very high in detail and quality. But let's hear what everyone's favourite airline is. What's your go-to airline? To our new viewers, welcome. So our new viewers have joined. We are pretty much just over the west of France. We passed Paris. Estimated time of arrival of 8 o'clock UK time. So an hour's flight time remaining. Typhoon pilot, about to fly in your Typhoon back to Coningsby. Very nice. Are you on VATSIM or free flight? decent weather up ahead. Hopefully we'll be able to carve through just the extremity of it. Certainly doesn't look too friendly. To tell our crew to fasten the seatbelts through this weather. I expect it to get quite bumpy. It might shock us. still got a little bit of headroom if we do need to climb. We've got an optimum flight level 400, so we'll see how we do as we approach into the cloud, but I think we might be okay. William, welcome. We decided on step climb to flight level 400 just so we can remain out of the weather. Hello Arkline, yes we do play with GSX Pro. Although one of the most annoying things with GSX is it appears to update almost every single day. Whilst we wouldn't do without it, it definitely annoys us. How about you? Have you got GSX Pro? It's definitely, I mean, it depends. With some of the aircraft that have the auto pushback feature, you can use it, but I think for immersion and complete realism, I think it is a very, very good tool to have. I think we wouldn't be without it now. We use it every single flight to board, deboard, and to push back if a pushback's required. I never ever get tired of seeing the weather up this high. Welcome, Lib. So the only modifications we've got in terms of graphics is Rex Atmos Core and Active Sky. They're the only two modifications that we have. Everything else is the sim settings on Ultra. Yeah, it's the first GSX is a good investment. If you want to increase the realism of your flights and your simming, I would recommend GSX. And I think every single content creator and simmer would agree with me that whilst GSX is amazing, it's not without its issues. But I think every simmer also knows that not everything in the sim is entirely perfect. In terms of my settings, everything is on Ultra, and the cost, the PC costs 4,000 in total. So we are running a Intel Core i9 14900KF, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 5090. I mean, I managed to get this before the RAM price rise. I had a look to see how much it had gone up by, and it said 6,000, I think, if not more. So I definitely was lucky. See you soon, Not So Van. Thank you very much for joining. Air Defender, thank you very much for joining and liking the live. Much appreciated. Not entirely sure we should be flying this nose up. I think it's because we're slightly too high. Thought we were in space. Yeah, it's, you're not the first to have said that today. We're at flight level 400. I think we are largely out of the weather now, so we can look to descend. Thank you very much, Defender. Much appreciated. Always tempted to intercept. I think that's one that's gone past us. I think it'd be wise to begin our descent planning as we are approximately 50 miles from our top of descent. So we're still flying into 32 right. It's the BAN F5 Delta arrival for ILS Zulu runway 32 right. So controller wise, we have the Ursa Minor Fighter L, so the left hand side Ursa Minor stick from WinWing, as it was. It's now called Win Control. Throttle input, we've got the WinWing Ursa 32 metal throttle and flap complex. There's a video on our TikTok which shows the flight deck, and then obviously I know we're in the E190. And then yeah, it says although we are flying the E190 today, we also fly both Boeing and Airbus. So we've got the autopilot panel for Boeing and Airbus, the MCDU and the FMC for Airbus and Boeing, and then the WinWing AGP metal, which is the chronograph, the auto brake and the landing gear. Oscar, not sure what you mean there. Oh, right, now I get it. Now I get it. Welcome to the stream, mate. Welcome to the stream. We're just shy of our top of descent, so hopefully you'll be able to get us, see us descending into Madrid. We're not actually too far off, actually. I think we're probably about 15 minutes, about 15 minutes till touchdown, I think. Might be a little bit, yeah, a little bit more. It's actually 30 minutes. 30 minutes till wheels down. Ah, Donut's back. Nice for you to join us, mate. I knew you'd like the E-Jet. I knew you would. No wasm crash for us today, thankfully. Oh, donut, I'm really happy with that. That you've used the Rex Atmos settings, absolutely fantastic. Good job we were checking that, otherwise I think the aircraft would have missed the VNAV profile. So I don't know how you're getting on with the E-Jets. Have you got your favourite yet? Is it the 190, 195, 170, 175? What's your favourite? And Air Defender, whilst you're with us, what is your favourite aircraft in the sim? Yeah, the 190, 195, obviously we're in the 190 today. Exceptional aircraft, absolutely love it. The 175 I've got, obviously KLM also use that. And Air Defender, Scottish Bulldog. Really, really nice 2-seat side-by-side training aircraft, really good. It looks very similar to the Grob Tutor. Pretty sure I flew in the Grob Tutor when I was in my Air Cadet days. Yeah, simple, but they, it's an exceptional bit of kit. Any single jet prop aircraft, the beauty of those is that where it's a trainer, it's got really good like aerobatic capabilities, and it's quite comfortable to fly. I definitely remember from the Grob being the same. Looks very, very similar. Yeah, the 152 is interesting. I've done my couple of flight lessons in the 152, and yeah, it bounces you around all over the place. So we've got one aircraft that's ahead of us in terms of the queue for landing at Madrid. So that's an A320 flying from Beograd, Searchin. They are 39 nautical miles from touchdown, and we are 59. We'll have a nice element of separation between our two aircraft there. No, take care, Donut. Thanks for joining. Defender, though, we don't use a head tracker. We have been considering the Tobii iTracker 5. I don't know what you want you have, what you could recommend. How do you find the Tobii and like moving around the cabin? Is it pretty easy to set up? I mean, I've watched videos on it, and it's definitely in our like next go-to item. I thought the Toby was able to be integrated straight into the sim. I didn't think you needed any other software. That you could use theirs. What exactly is OpenTrack? So Air Defender, is that the only thing you managed to get working on the Toby, is the sensitivity of the head movements, or? We're looking at Terminal 4 arrival into Madrid today. Looks completely clear in terms of aircraft, so I think we've got the pick of the bunch. All the way from 330 all the way to 378, I think will do us nicely. Ah, Donut, thanks for coming back. Yeah, we're pretty close to arrival.
Captain has now switched on the fasten seatbelt signs after will shortly be landing.
No pressure,
Now
eh?
return to your seat and make sure that all your personal belongings are safely put away into the overhead lockers or under the seat in front of you. Once again, if you're sitting in a front row seat or an emergency exit row, please place all items back into the overhead lockers only, leaving the floor area around your seat completely clear for landing. Check that your table is folded away, your seat is in the landing position, the arm
Yes,
is down,
yes, Donut.
seatbelt is securely fastened.
They are from the
Seated by a window and have lowered the blind.
Virtual British Airways, so VBAW, VBOR, it's part of AMSYS.
You may continue to use handheld electronic devices for landing. These must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger items, including laptops, to be switched off now and stowed away safely. Take a moment to remind yourself of your nearest exit and study the safety card in your seat area. As a reminder, in the event of an emergency, leave all hand baggage behind. Thank you.
Can't beat the arrival into Madrid. Madrid traffic, flyer 3270, initial approach runway 32 right. Madrid traffic. entirely sure the aircraft knows what it's doing, but didn't want to capture the localizer on that. Yeah, we've got the recording on, so we can watch it back. The left headphone. Well, you'll have to tell me about that in a second. Oh wow, that's absolutely changed my life.
500. 400. 300. 200. Approaching minimums. Ride slow, ride slow, ride
Disregard.
slow. Ride slow, ride slow.
Disregard.
Ride slow, ride slow. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Auto brake.
Minus 269, so slightly heavier than we would have originally liked, but 1.29G, we'll take that. Madrid ground, flyer 3270, vacated 32 right, Kilo 5.
very warm welcome to our destination. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. Once it's safe to do so, please take care when you open the overhead lockers, as items may have moved and could fall out and cause injury. You may now make and receive calls and use all data services on your handheld electronic devices. Check that you have all of your personal belongings with you before you leave the aircraft. If you require any assistance here at our destination, then please speak to our ground staff colleagues who will be happy to help. Those customers who have ordered special assistance to leave the aircraft today, please remain seated until the aisle around you is clear and our crew will be on hand to assist you. Finally, on behalf of all of us here at British Airways and the One World Alliance, I'd like to
yeah, Donut, it did work. We did turn that volume down. We never even knew that existed, so thank you very much for that.
A very good afternoon to you all.
Right, we'll let you you in the chat pick the gate number. It's got to be Terminal 4, so we've got anywhere from 420 to, oh no, tell a lie, it's 330 to 378. Where should we go?
No takeoff. Left.
I'll tell you what, I am impressed at Latin VR's Madrid. It does look good. Last time we flew out of Madrid was when we did the MD-11 for Iberia down to Lagos. Right, where should we go, chat? 330 all the way down to 378. What number should we pick?
No takeoff. Left.
Just the nearest. Okay, well if we look at the taxiways, so we're currently on Mike, so if we take Mike all the way down, 370 will be pretty much straight in front of us. Yeah, that's going to be a long time of picking. We're going to have to pick from a map, I think.
No takeoff. Left. No takeoff. Left.
Always forget just how big Madrid is. It's huge. The distance between the two terminals. Thanks for taxiing incredibly long. It's the A380. Although that kind of looks like, I can't even see his gear. So we're going to swing a left onto Mike Echo 1 and then we're going to take Alpha all the way down.
No takeoff. Left. No takeoff. Left.
So one thing I wish it had stopped screaming no takeoff at me. It's always good going through no entry. Shouldn't have gone that way, but I'd have to check how much the E190 was. Donut, I think you recently bought the E190. If you can help, I think they're around about £30, I think. Yep, we're on PC.
No takeoff. Left.
Thanks, Donut. There we go. Thought it was directly ahead. Make sure APU is comfortably running. Oh, rookie error, kept the strobes on.
We now disembark the aircraft. Please take care as you leave us and ensure that you take all of your personal belongings with you. Once you've left the aircraft, please follow the directions of our ground staff colleagues who will be able to direct you. Thank you.
See if the jetways work today. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend Contrail. It's a really, really good add-on company to use. I've used them for all of the add-ons that I have. Very, very good like download system. It adds it straight into the community folder. Absolutely no issues. Really, really happy with them.
Passengers, the boarding started.
So donut PC specs, it's an Intel Core i9, it's the i9 14900KF, it's a Zotac Gaming RTX 5090 and 64GB of RAM. There's our passengers, safely in Madrid. I think definitely, along with the TFDI MD11, this is without a shadow of a doubt one of my favourite. So the RTX 4060 is good. So I used to have it on my gaming laptop. I had a 4070, which was an 8GB. I think just a little bit quicker than the 4060. And the AMD Ryzen GPUs, I always get told off for having an Intel. So I think it still works. 8GB's usually good for medium graphics. It worked for me on my laptop. But if you definitely want a challenge, I mean the E190 is a fantastic aircraft. But if you ever want a challenge to one of the older tri-jets, I would definitely recommend the TFDI MD11. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit. Whilst we wait for deboarding, and then we'll have a look at the touchdown from the outside view, shall we? No worries, Donna. In that case, what I'll probably do is leave the stream where we are, and then create a video for you. And we'll do a nice video for the landing into Madrid. How does that sound? S62, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Thank you very much for the follow, S62. You missed out. We've literally just arrived at Gate 370 at Madrid. Have no fear. We're going to be creating a video on the landing for everyone, and the live should be available on YouTube later on once it uploads. S62, maybe we'll do one tonight if we can do a short haul. If not, it'll be another day. But without further ado, thank you all very much for joining the live, and we will see you soon.